Oh, there it is. Okay. And film quick.
Okay.
Okay, this is the best camera right here.
Hey, Craig, you're okay with live streaming as well?
On
YouTube?
yes, sir. Pardon?
On Facebook Live?
No, unless Spud to.
No,
He's
no.
asking, he's gonna.
Oh, you want to?
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
I am not. I have no right to be pretentious. That's for sure.
Maybe I should go in front. Sorry.
Okay, and let's see. Bingo bango. How do I get this started? Is that the button? There it is. Yep. All right. Let's see. This is. That's 6 seconds in. All right. What's this? Yeah, that's what's in front of you. This is cool because it has a gimbal. I don't think you can zoom it. So just do your best, and sorry if it's heavy. The thing will point. So best of luck with it. Anyway. And then.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's give the 4 more people that are expected a moment or two, and I'll just keep starting cameras. That'll be fun.
Sorry, everybody. Didn't know we're live.
Video edited at the community college right now. So if I survive the class, all this footage is something I can craft into maybe, a movie of sorts. It's a little tiny. Well, I can use this footage and then make a video. Yes, if I wanted to or needed it in the future, if I want to do a film project or something. I have the Final Cut Pro. If I could use it, it would be really helpful. Most people online know how to do that stuff. I've posted 1,200 videos, and I've never edited them. It's kind of funny.
But you're in the right class.
Yes, if I could get through it.
Yeah, I didn't think you guys were gonna make it.
Tech classes are exceptionally hard.
Yeah, that could be
They
already
don't
that.
have ways. And I-
We're just waiting on a couple more people and then we'll show you.
All right, this thing's working now, I think. Yes, okay. This one you have to.
Well, because like seven space is always, it's just a
It
breakfast
doesn't
place.
work, and then you just have to turn it on and off.
Yeah,
Twice,
it's like
3 times, and then it does work. No, that's
Yeah, so
all
we know when
the
they
live
come.
lessons of all
The guys
time.
that- the guy that-
Turn it off and on again,
Coming, which is.
and again,
And
and
then
then
it's
maybe
off.
it works. Yeah, it's kind of a miracle. Okay, I wonder if maybe on this little thingy here,
If you got it.
work.
Yeah.
I think that works. Okay, what if I get started? All right, we got a movie. Okay, that's exciting.
You're not bored in
Do the minutes on making it?
Not gonna make it.
And okay, shucks, they're right back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So he
7.
was two- he was
12.
two.
So minus 2 is 10. So there's 3 people supposedly coming. It's okay. Well, one of them is my classmate, and he's a young man who might just be flaky. Like all the young people nowadays. What's wrong with them? All right. All right, that's enough cameras. Okay. And we're going live already. Okay. I think we're pretty much ready to go. I'll get that stuff. Don't mind me. I love this little area right here. This is kind of cool. I can't use that. Just grab these things. Okay. Alright. Just like a rock star with a set. Flat on the floor. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. This moment, right? No, it's started. thought about this every time. Anyway, all right.
Are you close to getting ready?
Yeah, I'm pretty close to being ready to go.
We would like to thank you guys for coming out to the coffee inn this evening and get to witness Craig's first public review of his comedy show. So he's been excited about it, taking classes and probably stressing out and making things work together, surviving the line of fires, and what's the show called? Losing your marbles?
Finding my marbles.
There you go. So,
Guys, I lost them.
so give him a good applause. And,
If I wondered, I'm just gonna do an hour of comedy with no politics and no profanity. Could he possibly have that many fart jokes? It's not all fart jokes. But like I was thinking then after that, I was like, oh, I've never really heard, two farts walking into a bar jokes. Like someone should have thought of those. I've heard a lot. And like I could just imagine, two farts walking into a bar, have one beer, and then they just lingered there all night. And you probably think of a lot more like that. It might be a healthy pursuit mentally, couldn't hurt me. Anyway, I was thinking like first joke should be, oh look, I just found a couple more of my marbles, right? And then I realized, oh, that'd be a good name for the show. So, yeah. Anyway, my name is Craig Hamilton Brandon, in case I run for president.
Please do.
Aren't you sweet? Appreciate you. My pronoun is I identify as funny. Anyway, and that's one of the things I've been like doing a lot of open mic stand-up comedy, right? And the first things you say to people are a thing, and those are some of the things I say. Or anyway, yeah. So before the fire, I was a server in Kaanapali at breakfast, and almost every morning in Kaanapali Beach there'd be somebody out there swimming 40 yards out, 40 feet of water, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. The area can be a little sharky, and there have been events. And so I turned to my guest sitting there at the ocean front, and I said, hey, you think that person out there can hear the music to Jaws right now? Because I sure can. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then, of course, I was serving Loco Mocos, and when people ordered Loco Moco, I'd say, oh, that item comes with a joke. He'd say, well, what's the joke? I'd say, I got a friend named Moco. That guy's loco.
It's loco.
They call him. Anyway. And then also, I've worked with a lot of young people, right? And I like to try to teach them this thing that apparently young people don't realize. That is, if you buy pants, jeans that you really like, and you just wear them, you'll get holes in them for free. Like, you don't have to pay for the holes in your jeans. You get holes for free. They don't realize, they don't know that, but I try to teach them this. Anyway, that was back when I had a job before the fire. The place I worked at went out of business. Anyway, the day after the fire, right? Like, no matter what happens to you in life, however good or bad or whatever, next morning, you're going to want a cup of coffee, right? It's the first thing you're going to think about. And I've been looking at this place for years, driving by it, going, what is that? It's so interesting down there. Volcano building. And oh, I think it's a coffee joint. And I figured that out. And I thought, oh, this is finally my day to go have a cup of coffee there, because I've been thinking about it for a long time, believe it or not. Like, being curious for years, what was this place, and then figuring it out, and then this was the day. So I come here. I'd been pretty lucky in a weird way. Just when I left, when I evacuated, there were a couple guys that needed a ride out, so I was able to help them out, which was this cool, positive thing that was, right when I was leaving everything, knowing I was going to lose everything I owned, that was kind of cool. And then I came here and I tried to get a cup of coffee. They wouldn't even let me pay for it. And then the lady behind me was like, I want to buy you breakfast. And then, I'm sorry. Oh, anyway, there are tears. So then I go out to my car and, sorry. It's all good. Anyway, so I go out to my car and to check on it, because it's got like a few remaining remaining possessions I have. And there's a tourist there, and he's like, "Hey, we're at the airport. I gotta get rid of this. Do you want a case of water and granola bars?" I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. Thank you." And then I thought it'd be funny, but also I needed it, right? So I was like, "Hey, and you got a shirt?" So he gave me a shirt, which is cool. And then I come back into the coffee shop, and somebody put a $25 gift card on my stuff anonymously. I still don't know who did that. Just a bunch of miracles. And then our locally famous radio personality and storyteller came in, who's here tonight, and she was talking to John Henry. I was like, "Oh, I know that voice. I heard that voice for years." And so I was like, "Hey, I'm Craig, and I just needed to say hi to a meter," so that was cool and really interesting. And then a bit later on, I took my first class at the community college. My professor, who's in charge of the Weatherby Film Festival, and the only local movie maker who's ever existed, Brian Cohen, he brought her in as a guest speaker, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." Anyway, so thanks for being here, Kathy. Anyway, sorry, that was. So then I realized, oh man, the next thing I need after this coffee is a shower, and I've been paying $10 a month at the Planet Fitness for 5 years, and I've never been, but I kept paying for it with the hopes that I would start to work out again, right? But then I was like, oh shoots, I could go get what will be a $500 shower, right? Best shower I'll ever take. And so I went out, drove over there, took my $500 shower, but I parked in front of a burrito place, and some guy walks out and gives me a free burrito, which is it's just amazing. And then 100 yards away was a shelter opening up, and I heard about on the radio, and I went there, and so now I'm at the shelter, and the first night is weird. I've been a breakfast server, so I get up at 4 in the morning every day, so I got 3:45, and that's interesting. I'd never been in a room in a shelter of any kind in my life, but there was 150 people in there, right? And so wake up the next day after the fire, sleeping on 2 pews that had been put together, people all around you. And I get up a little bit before everybody, and the first thought was, whoa, I wonder if I'm going to hear anybody fart. And then I heard a lot of people fart, because it's 4 in the morning, that's when their bodies are doing it. And I was like, oh man, I'm glad I'm up, and I'm going to go outside. I think it's good time for that. And there was coffee there, which was awesome. And that was just a little bit funny. But maybe I should have been grossed out, but I was looking for any reason to laugh, and it was pretty funny to me. Plus, the place had super high ceilings, so I didn't smell anything. I just heard it. So that was positive, but a little bit funny, right? And then I love how you make lifelong friends. You go to work and you make lifelong, through your experiences in life, they just happen. And of course, there I was with this one other guy that was really cool, who had a sense of humor, and we were trying to keep each other amused as much as possible. His name was Al, and he was one of those farters. But so then Al and I are at this snack counter, and I've never seen so many snacks in my life. Like, because of all the donations, right? It was this massive buffet of snacks. Everything you could buy at Walmart or Costco in a box, a granola bar, a cracker, and anything, Rice Krispie treats. Just the biggest smorgasbord ever, right? And I was like, hey, Al, who's a local Hawaiian dad, I think, and a Filipino-Japanese mom, right? And I'm like, oh, Al, check it out. Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen? I've never seen this before. These are Japanese. These purple crackers. You ever seen purple crackers fried? I thought all crackers were white. Anyway, this. And then of course right away, lots of people, not just myself, I think, we're finding a joke about how I think we got rid of all the cockroaches, you know, because everything burned, and or maybe they're still alive, and but definitely the mice are gone and whatever. Anyway, a lot of those jokes were just happening.
Yeah.
I wasn't making them up, but anyway. So then after 4 days, we got put into the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. It's like a miracle, right? Like suddenly I'm living oceanfront in a hotel room, even though a hotel room isn't the perfect place to live. It's way more than I expected. I figured I'd be sleeping out of my car for a long time, right away. I didn't. Who knows what's going to happen after you watch everything, you know, that happen. And so there I was, and then my son was homeless as well. So I was able to get him into my hotel room, and there we were for 7 months in the hotel room. But I'm always trying to make jokes, and one of them was, okay, so like if you're an Uber driver, you get if you're the closest person to the person requesting you, you're the one who gets the job, right? And so on that note, I would pretend that there was an app for a toilet buddy, right? And as if like the closest person that was in your vicinity would come to your door where you were on the toilet and say, I'm here to talk to you. Right? And then, so my son was using the bathroom, I come up outside of the bathroom, hey, I just got an alert on my toilet buddy app that there's somebody at this location that needs to talk to somebody. What can I do for you? And what can I be talking about? Oh, Dad, go away. You know, but I have to constantly do that. Oh, your toilet buddy's here. What should I talk about today, son? And whatever. Anyway, if you want to annoy someone you live with, it's a pretty good way to do it. And then I was at the beach and some locals, right? So there were 3 local Filipino guys that had come over from Oahu. And this is funny because this is, I think, in Maui, this is a Filipino joke, but on the mainland, it's just a banana joke. Anyway, they go, we got a joke. They were telling jokes, right? And they're just funny guys. Anyway, one of the jokes was, what does a banana say when they call in to call out from work? I'm not peeling well. And you get it? I'm not peeling well? They kept saying, you get it? Isn't that funny? And I just thought the whole thing was funny. And I'm just asking me if I got the joke, which of course I got the joke. But there's a lot of the local Filipino jokes that resemble that. But I think on the mainland, that would just be a banana joke. They wouldn't even figure it out as a Filipino joke. But locally, 100% Filipino joke, right? Told to me by 3 Filipino guys. I just thought it was funny. I thought I'd share that with you. And then I'm often trying to make somebody laugh by not being serious. And this was one of the examples where it could go a little bit wrong. So in Maui, it's always hot, right? Unless you use air conditioning. When you get out of the shower, you just might wait 10 or 20 minutes before you put clothes on, right? It's not unusual. If you live alone, if you know no one's going to be around, you might just walk around without clothes on for a little while after a shower, right? And so it's just normal, sort of, I think. I don't think I'm the only one that does that. Maybe I am, and I'm finding out right now. But I'd gotten out of the shower in my hotel room where I never use the air conditioning, right? And I hadn't put clothes on yet. And I also thought, I should call my friend and ask him. He wrote a book, how his sales are doing. So I called this friend of mine in Oregon. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, just standing here naked, thinking of you. And he did not take that the right way. I have not spoken to him since. But I was just trying to make him laugh. And anyway, sometimes it can go wrong, not being serious. So then I decided I'm going to take road trips. And the first one was a flight to Oakland and drive to Maine and back, right? And so that was interesting and fun. Because if you live in Maui, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you want to, there is no such thing as a road trip, right? And so there were jokes just happened, right? And so in Tennessee, unlike anywhere else, when I went through 1, 2, 3 drive-throughs, same thing happened every time. I'd order my meal, and the lady would say, okay, that's $13.95, sweetheart. I was like, did she just call me sweetheart? Wow. because people don't do that anymore. And it kind of felt good. And then when I got my food and change, she'd say, "This is your change, $1.63. Thanks for coming." And she'd call me sweetheart again. I was like, "Oh wow," because it's so unusual in today's world. I noticed, and then it happened again and again, and I realized, okay, so in Tennessee, at the drive-thru, you are always going to get 2 sweethearts with every meal. Anyway, and it's just true. I drove all the way to Maine, right? And I drove to the end of the Appalachian Trail, Baxter State Park. I recommend it. When you leave there and you're coming back, the highway, Route 2, which is an amazing highway, it's the one that goes across the top of the United States, and it was the first cross-country road in America, right? That was paved that you could drive. But it goes from Maine to Seattle, basically. Up through the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's just the most amazing road. Anyway, so the beginning of it is right as you come into Maine, and you're driving down this road. It's just 75-mile-an-hour speed limits, right? 75. That's fast. That's a speed where you can't really alter your course if something happens. And then you see a sign that says, "Blinking lights, high hit area, moose crossing." Why are you telling me to drive 75 miles an hour when there's moose crossing? That would kill me. That would ruin my whole road trip in a heartbeat and maybe kill me. And so I was like, forget that, man. I throw 55, my head on a swivel. Like, I can't afford that to happen to me. What a ruin a road trip when you're all the way across the country. Have your car get smashed, maybe you buy a moose. And if you don't kill them, if they're aggressive, they'll just come and stomp on you, right? They kill more people than any other animal in the country. They're the most dangerous animal. Anyway, I just thought that was a little bit funny. Like, oh my God, don't tell me to drive 75 miles an hour and then say high hit area, blinking lights. Anyway, in case you ever do that, drive there, you'll see that. So I did open mics across the United States, and one of the jokes I like to tell is because it's true. When I was coming out of my divorce a long time ago, it was no fun. And I realized, because if you watch the news, you see bad things happen on the news. Sometimes some guy who went through a divorce, right? I realized, you go through a bad divorce, you got 3 options. Suicidal, homicidal, or a triathlete. So I became a triathlete. And I tried to do an Ironman. I went to Coeur d'Alene, and I did 2/3 of the triathlon. Turns out a triathlon, they kick you off if you're not fast enough. And I was not fast enough. I got my swim, no problem. It's a 2.6 mile swim. I rode 100 miles, and then a truck came along and said, "You're going to have to stop here, we're going to pick you up. You're done for the day." So, all right. It still felt like I accomplished a lot. But halfway through the bike ride, when you're just exhausted and, looking for help from anywhere, you look on the ground, somebody writes a joke, right? It's just, oh man, it's so therapeutic, but it was pretty silly. The joke was, if this were easy, they would have called it your mom. Anyway, I was like, oh, that's funny and at a good time, because I feel terrible right now. Anyway, I'll never forget that. And maybe it's still not too late for me to do a triathlon. And then another one of my favorite jokes, because I don't really like to text a lot. We live in a world where everyone texts too much, and so I like to send my friends text messages that just say, text message. And the next day, I see them, I'm like, "Hey, you get my text message?" And of course, you can add other words to it. And this girl who watches my YouTube channel had seen that joke. She sent me a text that just said, "Sexy text message," and I never saw it. And then later, she wrote me a text saying, "Did you get my sexy text message?" And I was, whoa, what's that? And I scrolled back and it just said sexy text message. She got me with my own joke.
Yeah.
But pretty funny. Anyway. So driving across the United States, this is a great tip. I don't recommend, don't gamble first of all, ever. It's a waste of all of everything, your time, your money, and your life. But nevertheless, there's casinos now all across the United States. And the one thing they typically all share is a beautiful bathroom, like a granite marble bathroom. The one at the Thunder Valley Casino in Northern California has an employee in the bathroom cleaning it. 8 hours at a time, 24 hours a day. There's always a person in the bathroom cleaning. It's never anything but just pristine. You know, when you're on a road trip, a pristine marble bathroom is an asset. And so, so I would stop at casinos to use the restrooms, right? But then when I'm walking out of the casino, right, through the parking lot, I'll walk by a guy walking in to gamble, and I'll say to him, "Hey, bro, you know, if you stop right now and turn around, you'll still have all your money." And he looks at me with like stink eye, but I'm like, and which is true, I'm just trying to help the guy out. Like, if you just stop now and not go in there, you're gonna be fine. But yeah, it's a bad habit. That particular casino, a manager was telling me a story of somebody. Well, I said bad story, so you don't want to hear it. But yeah, gambling can lead to bad things. We'll just put it there. And then also, I bought some. Well, first when I was doing this joke, I had a baggy pants. Then I lost them all. I have replaced those. I have some more baggy pants now, right? And which I think skinny jeans are sort of a mistake in general, especially for men. And so I like just in random situations. I don't really ever wear jeans here, but like on the road trips, you know, you wear jeans and you see a guy in skinny jeans, say, "Hey man," and then show him his baggy pants. But you know, you don't gotta wear those anymore. Fashions have changed again. You can wear normal pants. And no one ever got mad. They always thought that was kind of funny, which is good because you know, I don't want to upset anybody. But that's one of the things I like to tell people. If you drive across the United States of America, you're gonna see a lot of aliens. I spent the night in my car next to the famous black mailbox that was at the end of some of these alien shows. Like I think at the end of the X-Files, that they talked about it. It's part of UFO folklore. But I have a problem with all the images of aliens. They're always naked. I would really like them to have clothes on. I'm tired of seeing naked aliens everywhere. It's just weird. Anyway, if you never really thought about it, you never see aliens anything but naked. And I prefer it if they would start putting clothes on myself personally. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. Oh, this is terrible. This is, you know, like Spud. I work with Spud at the Hula Grill, and this is the kind of joke I like to tell. If I have someone next to me that I know I'm not going to offend by trying to make them laugh. We used to have to make chocolate milk. Waiters often make all the chocolate milk for their guests, right? And so you make chocolate milk all night. And I like tell the guy next to me, put a little chocolate syrup on my finger and go, "God, did you hate it when they ran out of toilet paper in the bathroom?" Sorry. It's pretty bad, I know. But it's just chocolate syrup. You know, just trying to make the guy next to me laugh, you know, in the middle of a busy shift. I worked 20 years for TS restaurants. I have served 1 million people, literally. So, in busy situations, it's fun to laugh a little. What else? Oh, at the end of my YouTube videos, I often like to say, "Do no harm, do no crime." Well, thanks for watching All Good Things and All Good Time, but do no harm, do no crime. If you're thinking about doing harm or crime, do less today. Just, you know, be lazy. Get nothing done. And you'll make the world a better place by doing less, right? Like, real simple. And, because, you know, crime takes someone having to actually make an effort. And if you can just decide not to make that effort, you make the world a better place, right? So, anyway, that's just something I like to do. So I'm a student, like I mentioned, at the community college. I don't know if you've seen that show where Chevy Chase plays an old man at a fake community college. I'm a real thing. I'm a real old man at a fake community college. And it's kind of funny, right? There's a few funny things. Like, for instance, if you ever try to talk to someone who's a college student nowadays, or that normal age, right? The conversation always starts out the same way. "Hey, just a second, let me take this thing out of my earphones, or take my earphones off so we can start the conversation," because no young person is in this world anymore. They are somewhere else. They don't hear anything around them, and it's just kind of funny to me, and it's constant, you know. "Hey, and then they'll talk to you, you know, but you got to initiate the conversation while they cannot even hear you. You know? Yeah. So I'm taking creative media arts classes, and the professor in charge of the whole department is this great guy, Brian Cohen, who runs the Film Institute and the Film Festival, and made 2 movies here. And the name of the class was Finding Your Story, and it was a class where you're just really encouraged to just talk, because none of these kids talk anymore. They're just all closed up and trying to come out of their shell and become comfortable, learn how to speak in front of other people. And I just thought, I mean, not based on much truth, but just a little bit of truth, right? Like, the truth is that people I'm in school with, maybe their moms are age appropriate for me, right? And one of them could have a single mom, right? So I just thought it would be funny. I had this joke inside. I was like, oh, I just gotta say this to the whole class. I said, at a moment when I could say something to the whole class, I said, hey, say if you have a hot single mom looking for an unemployed homeless guy that just lost everything he knows, you tell them all about me. And that was fun for me to tell that joke. Of course, they all think, oh my God, this guy, who is he? But then also, realistically, like, if you were to meet someone that you like and they have kids, one of the important elements of that is their kids gotta like you, right? So if it all started with them liking me and telling her about me, that'd be a good place to start. But also, it was just a joke. I don't really think that's going to happen. But nevertheless, one of my school jokes, that's true. I'm an honor student, I'm proud to say. Oh, by the way, tonight, I don't know if you're visiting, if you live here, there's a new art exhibition at the Hui, No AI. And after my first art class, which I also recommend you do, one of my art assignments in my printmaking class was accepted into the art exhibition. I went from being a first semester art student to now I'm in an art exhibition. And it starts tonight also. This is my big artist coming out of the closet party. Which is just so cool. Anyway, but we've got to write jokes. The world's just funny. So when I got the thing back from the Hui telling me all the people that got accepted, like it's a list of 150 artists and the name of their art piece and the price they're going to charge, right? It's like 900, 2,000, 3,000, 1,000, 5,000, $60 is mine, right? It's literally between 20 and 100 times less than every other piece in the. There might be a few that are 500. I didn't see them on that page, but and I wonder. This instructor's so amazing. 5 of my classmates in a class of 10 people are also made it into the art, and they're all way better than me. But I was able to do this thing I always dreamt of, which is if I was an artist, I would render the most beautiful flower ever. And to me, that is the lilikoi flower, which is so beautiful, but nobody sees it. It opens and closes in a day, so it's never going to be in a bouquet or in a lei, but it's such a pretty flower. And every shirt has a freaking hibiscus on it, or a gardenia, or plumeris are everywhere, but I've never seen anybody. There's a lilikoi cider that has a rendition, artistic rendition of a lilikoi flower. That's the first time I ever saw it, was on a can. And that's the only other time I've seen it. So anyway, the art piece that I got into was a 4-color relief print of a lilikoi flower. So
nice.
That's kind of cool. I didn't have to wait for someone else to do it. So, but I did for like 20 years, and then it was me. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's people that claim that if you're touching the earth with your feet, it grounds you electrically with the earth, and it has healthy properties, right? And so, I mean, it seems like if that's true, then how healthy is it to dive into the ocean and be connected to the earth every millimeter of your body? To me, it's kind of like making love to the planet. And so, if you think about that next time you jump in the ocean, I've gotten to it. So a friend of mine recently, because I'm in FEMA housing, sent me a text. It said, "You still living rent free?" I wrote back, "In your mind." Anyway. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but locally, there's just a whole bunch of the truck culture here is like no other, right? There's so many beautiful trucks, little trucks, medium-sized trucks, big trucks, so many lifted trucks, right? What appear to me to be probably $30,000 trucks with $70,000 suspensions are everywhere, right? And I realized I catch myself just stopping and staring at the suspension all the time. It's just something that I do. And I realized, oh, there's something funny about that, right? Like, so now for fun, when I'm walking through a parking lot and I see some guy I could probably relate to, I say, hey bro, should I be embarrassed to admit that I have to look under the skirts of other men's trucks? Have you seen these suspensions? They're so beautiful. And then he goes, oh, bro, me too. I love it. And have you seen the rear ends on these things? Anyway, it's fascinating. It's amazing how much investment goes into trucks, suspensions locally. Lifting them, lighting them up, the shocks, the struts, the rear ends. I mean, they are beautiful. The custom paint on all. A friend of mine, one of my classmates, one of these young, nice people I go to school with, he's one of these guys, one of these trucks, and he tells me, oh, I just had all these parts painted purple, So he had these parts taken out of the suspension and put back in, painted purple. And that cost him $5,000 just to have 10 parts taken out and put back in purple. And so imagine how much these suspensions really cost, like top to bottom, end to end, all that money. And then the lighting, anyway. One of my jokes I've been having fun with lately. I was walking by some guys a month ago in front of Dolly's, and they were working in a big hole, big utility hole, fixing a pipe, standing in a hole all day, And I was walking by, I was like, man, I wish I could make them laugh somehow. I wish I could think of something funny about that. Then I stopped and I was like, hey, I bet you guys know a lot of hole jokes. And they laughed, and I was like, cool, man, I got them to laugh. And anyway, and that's when I realized, and because when you want to do stand-up comedy, like in Hawaii, there's always situational humor happening all the time, but how do you translate that to the stage, right? You could just tell the story of what happened when the situation happened and explain, and so it's cool. It's one of the epiphanies I've had. But anyway, I did a show to 5 people at the community college, and these kids didn't laugh at any of my jokes, except for that one. They all just busted out, thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was like, how does that make any sense? You didn't like the one about video games? Anyway, and then I went to go take out some radio ads, which yielded nothing, right? 2 sets of radio ads at Pacific Radio Group on 2 different radio stations. But the guy selling me the ads, last name was Spoon. So of course, first thing I said was, oh, I bet you know a lot of Spoon jokes. He's like, yeah, and he points to the receptionist. She said, she never lets up, all day, every day. Spoon jokes. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen these ads, these shoes you can slip into, like Skechers and other, the shoes. It's so offensive to me because they always choose to have skinny people doing these ads. I don't know if you've ever tried to tie your shoes when you have a belly in the way, but I gotta hold my breath, go down, I only have about 10 seconds. If I don't get it done, I gotta come up for air, come back down. It's really hard when you're negotiating a belly. It's in between you and your shoelaces. You never show anybody with those physical features on these, which is their prime market. They should be trying to sell people who need these shoes, or the people who can't tie their shoes, or they gotta have a chair or a stool. It's not easy for everybody. But no, they got these skinny people advertising these slip-in shoes, and it frustrates me. Anyway, I have a local, one of my local Tongan friends told me, hey, I got a joke for you. You got to tell this joke on stage. I said, okay, what is it? He said, oh, you know what coconut milk is? It's Tongan steroids. So that's my friend Yuki's joke. Hope you like it. There's a lot of racial jokes here that aren't racist. They're just about, things that are consistent in our communities, right? This joke, I was working at the Ritz, and this nice Filipino guy said, oh, I heard this joke from an old Filipino man on the night.
You should try this one. He said, you know why Filipino people prefer to use Lyft instead of Uber? Why it's better for them too? Because it could be confusing. Get in the car, say, I like go Uber here, I like Uber there, I like Uber there. It's like, all right, I'll tell you a joke. But it comes from some old man on the nine. Anyway, I'll let you keep laughing. I'm enjoying the sound of that. Anyway, I have interesting dreams, goals, fascinations. One of my dreams is to make a coffee table book, maybe a calendar of Maui's beautiful parking lot chickens. You know, these are the beautiful chickens from the Safeway in Lahaina, the Costco, the chickens from the Maui Community College. Anyway, if you haven't noticed, every parking lot has the most beautiful chickens, or roosters, but here we call roosters chickens, typically. And yeah, they are just the meanest birds ever, are the most beautiful. All of them come from fighting breeds that were brought here to fight, not to lay eggs or do anything like that, not for meat. And so, and the more vicious they are, the more beautiful, apparently. And they've been let loose ever since it became a felony. Anyway, that's another story. But they're everywhere, and I think it would be a beautiful coffee table book, you know?
It would.
Chickens. Anyway, and it'd be easy to find the content and just go to anywhere you go. Recently, I saw Jonah Hill. He finally looks like a full-grown man. You know, it's like he hit puberty in his 40s. It's like, and when he did, I assume his balls dropped twice. They dropped again because he's in his 40s. But anyway, yeah, if you've ever seen Jonah Hill recently, he has a beard. He looks like a fool. He looked like he was 13 for 25 years. Like in 2010, when he was in Moneyball, he looked like a 13-year-old still, you know? But yeah, and now, of course, he's in some movie, a love story, where he's hooked up with a 25-year-old, which seems so inappropriate. But of course, that's what these Hollywood guys will do anyway. All right, and what time is it? Anybody know? How long has this been?
Camera says 42 minutes.
Oh, all right, interesting. I did not know how long it would take. All right, and that's like 50 attempts. Oh, I forgot the paddling. I started paddling recently, and well, first of all, I got this paddling story. I just want to tell you because it's a little bit funny and interesting. I paddled Molokai Channel 5 times. The 4th time, I got to stroke a sailing canoe around the backside of Molokai. We crossed the Kaiwi Channel, and we were coming up on Oahu. We'd been 8 hours in the canoe, and I was in seat 1 stroking. And I'd only take about a 10-minute break. But I had this weird thing where like I was like tired, like I was starting to sleep, I guess, while I was awake. And I saw a full-blown hallucination, right? And so I look over to the left, and I see this like houseboat you'd see on a lake with these long strings coming off of it. And along those ties were people on lounge chairs with cocktails. And the guy on the back of the boat was making the cocktails. And I was like, what is that? And then I blinked and it was gone. Anyway, that was a weird hallucination I had. It was sports induced. But yeah, I paddled this year and it wasn't, I paddled the season, but for me it was because I was so out of shape and overweight. It was pretty much just like fat camp is what it was for me. But this next year, I'm going to hit it already in shape, sort of. I mean, still overweight. My weight doesn't change, but I'm doing 90 minutes of cardio at the gym, so I'm an in-shape overweight guy now. But I can't wait for next season. So I'm going to not be in fat camp anymore. I'm going to be a little bit stronger and have a heart lung ready to go. Anyway, and I guess we'll finish up. So this is just something fun to think about. If I ever have like $1 billion, I guess I could pay for this. But I can imagine, if you want to imagine something funny, you're bored. I can imagine a demolition derby, 50 cars with collision avoidance turned on. 50 people trying to hit each other in cars that won't let them. That would be awesome. I recommend Subarus. They might survive the whole event in Subaru. But anyway, that is my Finding My Marbles show. Thanks.
Woo woo! Woo!
50 jokes. Apparently it takes 46 minutes to tell 50 jokes. Now I know. No, it's going to be around an hour, but and this is my first comedy special. And one of the funniest things about it is I only sold 12 tickets and only 10 people showed. But this is going to get 1,000 views. So if I just imagine 1,000 people from like this live stream right now, then that changes my perspective. Plus, like all that really mattered is that whoever was here, actually laughed and ends up walking out and thinking, hey, he's kind of funny. Like if I can make that impression on you, and I can send you out of this room thinking that, and for the guys I know who hear all my jokes all the time, it's good for them to hear other people laughing at my jokes. They always think I'm funny. If enough of them had shown up, they would have just been hecklers and been an interesting element in the room. So in some ways, maybe I was better off. But I did not work hard enough to sell tickets. Next time I will. And thank you, Kathy, for showing up. She's a legendary comedian and storyteller locally. It means a lot if you think I'm a little bit funny, because that could go a long way in this town. Anyway,
Thank you very much.
and thanks for bringing Mom's Nuts. How funny is this lady right here? She got a farm named Mom's Nuts. So if you've got those in your mouth, that's why they taste a little bit better than normal nuts. What, you got Lilikoi too? You got Lilikoi? Oh, thank you. It's my favorite thing ever.
Nice.
Thank you for your support. And my friend from Michigan flew out just for this show, and she's doing the live stream, and she has been helping. The moment we were told 6 months out, unemployment was cut off, which they kept it going for the pandemic. Why wouldn't they keep going for the fire? But they cut it off, and right then, just when anyone and everyone else might have stopped wanting to help, through GoFundMe or whatever, this nice woman started helping me and has continued to support me in many ways, but also a little bit financially, or a lot financially, and I just can't thank her enough, and it's cool to have her here. And Spud, I love you. He's the star of this new award-winning film called Lahaina Rising that the Schweitzer brothers made. He is one of two primary people whose story is told in this movie that has only been shown once here on this island, and I suspect it's going to surface somewhere, on Netflix or at other film festivals first, and who knows. But Spud is a future star. He's my friend. He's in my fantasy football league. And Jeremy, is that you? Yeah, buddy. He's in my fantasy football league. Jeremy gave me a $3,000 surfboard right after the fire. This guy has crossed the Molokai Channel 27 times or something like that.
Woo!
And he's an amazing human being. And I didn't know the whole reason I was in a fantasy football league was so that this guy could help me out. He also had a little apartment they offered me after the fire to put my things in while I went on the road trip, keep me from losing them. And so thank you, bro. You freaking, so anyway. And I don't know how to end the show.
Yeah. Woo!
Oh, that's nice to say.
All right.
It's called
Brad coming over your house for sure.
How ya?
Oh yeah, that was quite a time.
so much.
He watched the live stream.